Oh boy. Oh boy. Quick sip of water before we get started. Oh, lads. Fingers crossed. This goes better than last night's. I said I'd do one tonight. I planned on doing one yesterday. And I'm back home in Ireland tomorrow. And I will do some more lives when I'm back home because the Wi-Fi back home. I have had the odd blip back home when I've done a live. But incidentally, when I have done lives back home and they actually have been a little bit and they've gone a bit wrong, it's actually not been the Wi-Fi. It's actually been the devices issue. I remember I did one last year at some point. I think it was late last year. It might have been this year actually. And everything was good on like every device in the house except the iPhone I was using to record. Like every device, the smart TV, PS5, everything was working. For some reason, Apple are brilliant, aren't they? Yeah, and that was an Apple issue as opposed to a Wi-Fi issue. So I've never really had issues back home per se. It's always been stupid little things like, with flipping, this not working or that not working. I just want to check and make sure. Actually, someone said, no, I thought they said it sounded good. Let's have a listen really quickly to the sound. Oh, it sounds good. It sounds good. So 25 in the building. We'll get a few more people in the building. As you can probably tell, right? Ade is live at 8. So we're going live up until like 59 minutes past 8, at which point I'll pop a link to his live. Not that anyone would need to, know who Ade is, but you never know. At least that way you can tell him G-Man sent you. Yeah, you can do that. You can tell him G-Man sent you. So big up. Let's see. Julius D. G-Man first, Ade second, night sorted. Exactly. Oh, that's a bit of a worry. Connection is unstable. Oh boy, that's not good. I might have to do it with the camera off because please, I was hoping this wouldn't happen again. It says connection unstable. If you're on Wi-Fi, try plugging it into your router. I ain't doing that. All right. If this makes it work, then that's what we'll do. You get Ainsley. You get Ainsley for the time being because I seen on my spare tablet there was a massive drop, and not that there's really good quality with the camera on this, but there was a massive drop. Okay, it's gone now. All right. You see what I mean? That's why I can't wait to get home. That's why I can't wait to get home because doing a live, I basically said to myself, right, that moving forward for like big live watch-alongs like Fury Usyk and the February 22nd show, I'm going back to Ireland for those watch-alongs because I cannot risk those watch-alongs are too good, they're too important to have issues. So I pretty much have it in my diary now for the watch-alongs, like the really big ones, go home to Ireland because you're guaranteed a much, much, much. Put it like this, right? The last watch-along I did or tried to do, I was doing like a joint one with the Zone, and I was watching the Zone, and at the same time I was trying to do a live, and I mean it was having none of it. So I was like, right, that's a sign that moving forward with any of these, you're gonna need to go straight home and do the live there, which is it's no problem. Gives me a reason to go home, you know. G Man, oh my god, look at the name. Oh man, some of these names on here, I swear, man, they I mean, I'm assuming you're not. In fact, I'm pretty sure Hatman does not have a twin. I know he's got plenty of brothers, but he does not. Holy crap. Well, we read the super chats first, and my man Adam Lord, man, thank you for the Christmas present. That's all I can say. £50, man. Holy because I like live in the UK now and I'm using pounds, I know how much that means. Oh my good lord. And if I wasn't going home tonight, I would be I couldn't go to the pub tomorrow because the pub I go to isn't actually opened. But I would be that would take me. In fact, actually, that would actually kill me if I spent that in the pub because they don't charge me full price. So if I actually made them charge me 50 quid, I could put it like this, man. I've had about 8 beers, not tonight, obviously, but in the pub I drink in central London. I've had 8 beers at times. They've only charged me for like Oh, like literally like 4. So yeah, man, that's a big one. I appreciate that, man. Great to see you live. Well, I mean, unfortunately, the Wi-Fi being the way it is, we're gonna have to kind of resort to Ainsley because the minute I went on camera, that flipping Wi-Fi logo showed up and the quality just dropped. So I'll try and read it until the Wi-Fi signal comes back on. I think Usyk is in for an easy night, given the reports on Fury's weight. I have suspicions that Fury may turn up to how he looked in the Ngannou fight. Well, you're not wrong, and I'm agreeing with you wholeheartedly. If Fury turns up in the shape he did, I haven't had that Wi-Fi logo come up yet, so he might be all right. If he comes up in similar shape to how he did in the Ngannou fight, I agree. You're spot on. I can't see how he wins the fight weighing in that much because you got to remember Usyk with his pressure. Ultimately was a lot of things, but he also helped Fury gas. Fury gassed in the first fight. Now he was the lightest weight he'd been in many years. Now you could argue there was an element of overtraining there. Fair enough. I'm not going to argue with you on that one. But nevertheless, he still gassed really badly. If he's carrying an extra stone and a half, I mean, we saw against Ngannou, excuse me, how slow he looked and how his legs didn't look right. And that was a 10 rounder. Wasn't fought at a high pace. It was a 10 rounder. And he really struggled. I personally thought Fury won the fight. The Ngannou fight, obviously, I've no issues with the decision or anything like that. But he's not going to be any better if he's heavier. So I agree. I hope that they find a happy medium. But I do. I'm even going to probably do a video when we finish up here. After I listen to Ade's stream, talking about the weights I think both guys should come in at. With Usyk, it's fairly straightforward. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But with Fury, there's a lot to talk about. I meant to read this question. Apologies, mate. I watched my twins live last night. I always get this guy's name wrong. Alois Jr. is a strange man. And my twin agree? Well, Alois Jr. comes out with a lot of things, a lot of superlatives. I know Hatman was saying that the area where he lives in South London, can't remember what he said it was, is he's trying to pass it off as a jungle, and it's certainly not that. I always find it weird when people do that. When people come from maybe not an affluent area, but an area that's, it's not known for having high crime and stuff like that, and then try and make it out like they're from the ghetto. There's a boxer, he's an Irish boxer. He's actually based in the UK. I think he's based out of Manchester. And the only reason I know this guy, I think he fought a couple of fights for MTK. I don't think he's fought in a while, actually. But I know this guy because I don't know him personally, but he's near my hometown. He's from kind of that area called Luke Caffrey. And I remember one of my friends used to work with him. He was a hairstylist. They were both hairstylists. I remember he telling me that he turned pro. And I was kind of like, oh, I knew I didn't know him personally, but I knew his face, obviously. I knew his face from around sorts. I used to see him when I go and see my friend the odd time. And I was always turned pro. Where is he in the UK? So I said, I'll see, is there any footage of him? So he looks fairly run of the mill. But I remember he got interviewed, and I forget who it was with, but he was talking about his background back in Ireland. Now, he came from a town called Rush. Rush is like middle class, upper middle class. Like, it's a nice place to live, expensive. It's on the sea as well. So it's a really nice area. And he was saying, I'm from a rough back. I was like, mate, no, you're not. No, you're not. Why are you, like, what was that about? You are from the furthest thing from a rough background you will ever see. You're from the really nice part of North County Dublin. You're near the sea in an expensive area. You did not come from a rough background. And I've got family out in Rush. You did not come from a rough background. So I get what Hatman is saying. I never understood that myself. My guy. That ain't the real Sky Nicholson. If it was, well, maybe Eddie Hearn would be knocking on my door. And he wouldn't be too happy. Even the band, big up, man. I hope you're keeping well, my friend. Hey, G, man, Scott McDougall. I'm assuming that's from Scotland. I'm assuming you're from Scotland with a name like that. If you are, whereabouts in Scotland? I'd love to go up there. I meant to say, right, before I go and talk about something else, I don't know if I mentioned this, but when I went home last weekend, I went to my work kind of Christmas party. And We was on Friday night. I drove to it. I wasn't drinking. Oh crap! That Wi-Fi sign's come up again. I drove to it, so I wasn't drinking. And at it, they did a raffle. And wouldn't you know, Mister Luck, your boy wins a 500 quid voucher, a travel agent voucher, so I can 500 quid off my next holiday. So I'm not going to spend it in Scotland, by the way, if that's where you're from, in the nicest way. And I didn't read your comment. Hey, G man, love the channel. Been watching since late 21, 3 years. Jesus. When are you and Ade doing more videos together? Soon, hopefully, man. It's hard because I'm home now for Christmas after today. I'm flying home tomorrow night. So I'm home for Christmas until January. I'm back over in London in January, and hopefully we can do something from then. We've had discussions over things, and yeah, like good discussions. It's just time wise. We talked about certain things, and we don't want to do just like we don't want to do just like a video every couple of months or something like that. We don't want to do that. So we're trying to see what can be done. We talked about that, I think maybe a week or so ago. So it's something that we're going to work on in the new year. At this point now, between his schedule and me being back home, there's really just no point doing anything because I'm back home, and that is what that is. Let's go. But we will be doing something in the new year. Big up the CIA Ghost. It's Ainsley until the Wi-Fi signal stops coming up. Once the Wi-Fi signal stops coming up, we'll be good. We'll be all good. Big up the neural. I think I'm saying that name right. Hello, G man. Who's Bacoli fighting next? I seen anything or everything boxing say that Bacoli versus FA Jagba was already agreed. That was one of the fights that was going to be on the February 22nd show. And now, obviously, Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren were saying that they got Turkey to take a few fights off it. So that sounds like it's one of the ones they took off it. There is a March show, and I haven't actually. I should have asked because I had a call with a guy from the Zone who I liaise with and deal with a lot. I had a call with him today, and I actually should have asked them. I asked him about a few things, but I never asked him about the March Riyadh show, which I should have really. Now I wouldn't have been able to give much info on it, but at least I could have had an idea with regards dates and stuff like that. So yeah, I let that one slip on my behalf. Apologies about that one. Big up to Kieran. How are you? How would Donovan Crooker go? And how would they fare against Boots, assuming it will be in the US? Well, I like the fight. I've rated Paddy Donovan very, very highly for a couple of years. Ironically, I've actually seen Lewis Crooker fight live. I watched him. Oh boy, he would have only been maybe his third or fourth fight. He fought in Windsor Park. So I've seen a lot of both guys. I much prefer to work with Paddy Donovan. I think he's more talented. I just think he's just better. It's as simple as that. So Paddy Donovan will be my pick. Man, it's a hard ask for either of those to beat Boots Ennis. I would say it's a very hard ask. At welterweight, yeah, at welterweight, he's definitely not looked as impressive the last couple of fights. But I think, I don't know, man. Welterweight, I would have said at one point welterweight would have been very tough to win a world title in, but now, I don't know what's going on there really. It's just, I would have thought Conor Benn would never have a sniff of a world title, but he may very well. You never know. With the way it's looking, until the guys from 140 move up, the division is, I'm worried. It's not going to lie about welterweight because it's always been there. Heavyweight has always been the division, but welterweight has always been, kind of the little brother of the heavyweight division. Do you know that sort of way? When there's a really big fight coming up, how much do when there's a really big fight coming up, how much do yours generally increase by? You mean viewers? Well, it depends really on the magnitude of the fight, really. I had a feeling with this fight they would increase, and they have. I'm already well over 100,000 views for the month. It's been 12 days. And my kind of goal for every month is I want to hit about 200,000 views a month. 200,000 views a month is a great little number to hit because it's not livable, but it takes a lot of pressure off, is the best way I could explain it. So 200,000 views is always kind of like a rough target I have for hitting. And it's a great little target for the channel as well. And we're already well over halfway to it. and it's 12 days, you know. So yeah, it will. I suspect January may be a quieter month, but February will be massive with regards to the February 22nd show, and more besides soon enough as well. Have you not fully moved from Ireland then? No, I have. I've been in the UK the last 2 months pretty much. I went home last weekend for work party, and I also met my friend's little girls, the twins. So I wanted to go home with them to see them. But yeah, I have this flat until October next year. And one of my goals for the new year, and I'll see if I can put the camera back on. One of my goals for the new year is I'd absolutely love, and I've been trying, but it's been slow. And I can't say I've been really, proper on it, like looking. But I've been trying to look for a new job in London City because I kind of want to make 100%, I'm in the city now and this, that, and the other. So that's kind of a one thing I want to look at for the new year. Ultimately, I'm quite happy with the setup I have now. It's pretty good. It's Usyk Fury fight. Get it right, G man. Did I not? Oh crap. You're right. You are absolutely spot on. I thought I did put Usyk down first. Apologies, Mr. Luca. Spot on. No, you're spot on. I know. Apologies. I should have. That was on me. It's just boom, 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 boom. No, you're right. 100%. I don't think I can change it now, can I? Oh, I can. That's getting changed. There we go. Oh, for God's sake. Okay, I don't think I can change it. Or maybe oh no, it's changed. No, it is changed there. On StreamYard, it says it's changed. Apologies. You're right. How am I finding living in the UK? I like it, man. I like it, man. It's been good. I think the hardest part was more kind of like whenever I came to here before, it was always to go to a fight. It was always to do some work with Ade, and it was always for a couple of days. So I just kind of went ham, not ham, but you know what I mean. Like I just kind of like ate what I wanted, drank what I wanted, did whatever I wanted. I can't do that now. Well, if I did, I haven't. So I do go out at least once a week. Yeah, since I came here, I think there's only been like 2 Saturdays that I haven't gone out. I go out most Saturdays. I like just going out and about and see. I meet a few friends from back home as well. So I've had fun with that. I'm just looking forward to the new year because there's a lot of things that I'm looking to do. Some of my cousins who live up in Milton Keyes, he's an Arsenal fan. I'm not, just for the record, not an Arsenal fan. But he's got me like membership with, and I know, yeah, he's from Arsenal, but he's going to get me into. We were actually going to go or hoping to go to the Monaco game last night, but for some reason they'll only let you kind of use tickets, kind of with phone if it's a Premier League game. And I was because 3-0, they played well. I was looking forward to that. But look, we'll get to some more games in the new year, and I'm looking forward to that. So it'll be good, man. Memorial Gardens, big up. Well, see, it depends, man. If he comes in lighter, but he does it the wrong way, that speed is going to be for nothing. He may even look slower. To me, Usyk looks heavier in that Instagram post he made. Alexander Usyk giving me videos here to work with. They're giving me videos to work with. I doubt he is, but I'll have a look. G-Man, have you ever been lifted clean off the ground? I have never been lifted clean off the ground. I've got my ass kicked in sparring a few times, but he never lifted me clean off the ground. He didn't do that. Have any of my friends ever been lifted clean off the ground? One of them has. I wasn't there that night, but oh god, the Wi-Fi sign. One of them has. I wasn't there that particular night, but one of my friends definitely did. Why is everyone so certain Fury comes in heavier? I don't believe the hype at all. I think Usyk comes in a little bit heavier, just a tad. He keeps the so that's my good feeling. I'm gonna do a video probably. Well, I'm gonna watch Ade for a little bit, and to be honest with you, I haven't. I'm going home for 3 weeks tomorrow. My suitcase is on the floor by my bed, and it's not packed. And that's not good because I'm going to work in the office tomorrow. So I'm literally going from work in the office to the airport. So I don't even have time to come back here and fix it. So I got to get it done tonight. But yes, I see where you're coming from there. And I did think that as well. The Parker fight is also in-house. So it made sense. For me, that did make sense. Parker does deserve it, to be fair. But yeah, 41 years old. And look, I would have favored Dubois to win that fight, but It's dangerous. Like if you Dubois, if he made mistakes in there against Zhang, I mean, he would not have been let off the hook at all. That man lives in bloody Jamaica. Ignore what he says about our country. He knows nothing except what Wikipedia tells him. Well, that man doesn't live in Jamaica. I know where he lives, but it's certainly not Jamaica. It's nowhere near Jamaica. Big up, G man. Usyk might as well be the king of England at this point. Deep random tinker. Well, listen. I mean, Charles Windsor, Alexander Usyk. I mean, who would you rather? It's just that's a, you know, there you go. That's what I call him, Charles Windsor. That's his name. That's his name. Actually, it's not really, but all right, we'll leave it there. There was a film study that pointed out the consistent change levels by Usyk caused Fury to make contrast lateral raises and burn energy. Well, yeah, I mean, like Fury, he always does kind of move a little bit when he's trying to get a breather and stuff like that. He does tend to move a little bit, sometimes excessively. But with Alexander Usyk, the feints, that's why I always said about Anthony Joshua. I even said that in the run up to the fight. I said he will feint, or Alexander Usyk will feint Anthony Joshua to death. It'd be death by 1,000 feints. And that's pretty much what it was. Big up, Craig. Love your channel. Thank you, my friend. I'm gonna have a look at this Instagram post. I don't use Instagram. So man. Oh, before I actually 84 viewing. How many likes are we on? How many likes do we have? 29 likes. Can we get closer to 50? Please? Can we get closer to 50? I'd really like it if we could get somewhere near 50. I'd really appreciate it. I really would. That'd be epic if we could get somewhere near 50 likes. So if you haven't already, hit the old like button. Help your boy out. Oh, definitely. Oh, definitely. I agree. It's sad in a way that we're in that position with Alexander Usyk, that as good as he is, people, I think Hatman put it best. He's the champion that at least we want, but the industry doesn't want. You know, someone like Simon Jordan, it's ridiculous because Simon Jordan said that if Fury loses to Usyk, it proves that Fury is kind of past his best. So he won't give Usyk the credit. But if Tyson Fury beats Alexander Usyk, oh, you see, he was always the better fighter. He'll act like it's some sort of amazing achievement that Tyson Fury beat Usyk. But at the same time, he's the guy who says, well, if Fury doesn't beat Alexander Usyk, well, then he's clearly not that good, or it's clearly something wrong. I'm going to look at it as soon as we finish up here, man. 100%, because you've intrigued me now. Big up, G-Man. Love the videos. Nameem, I hope I said that name right, mate. Ringside Frackers. I seen your video that you did with Ade. Big up to you guys, and big up to Ringside Frackers every single time. Man, if ever you want me on there, I'm not to say that I'm on Ade's level. I'm not. But you know what I mean, man? It'd be an honor to go on your show sometime as well. I'd love it, man. Turkey said, yeah, he's probably going to be fighting. No, he is going to be fighting that guy. What's his name? Ajagba. Dangerous fight. The Usyk versus the world narrative is nice, but it's very short-sighted. His country is no doubt treating him like a king. Just don't expect the amount of in the English-speaking world. It's not rocket science. Too soon for Donovan. Well, yeah, I agree. I hope not, man. I hope not. Just look up Hidden Gems film studies, go into deep detail about how Usyk got around the long guard of Fury. And to be fair, it's genius. Yeah, well, you could see Fury holding his left hand out, which you're not allowed to do. And Usyk just stabbed him to the body. Starmer out. Man, I've never seen a politician as despised as him. What an awful man. He is awful. He really is. I honestly, why anyone? I don't know. Is Usyk considered a superstar? I remember when Tony Bellew called Alexander Usyk a superstar, and he straight away, no. And it was Chris Andre who pointed out that it's his theory that Usyk doesn't want to be a superstar because superstars fade. They come and they go. And I think that is something that I could, when he said that, I was like, makes perfect sense. Trump v. Biden in Las Vegas battleground. Oh, man. Oh man, we've got one guy who's senile and one guy who is just, oh man, I don't, I don't vote. I don't get into politics and the whole, Trump, the savior, this, that, and the other. And it's crazy when you see people who like Zuby, who speak a lot of sense and have a lot of time for Zuby, just fully on board with Trump and stuff. It's like, mate, come on, man. This guy is uh, anyway. Deep random think he is now. Like I can go around my office and ask anyone who Usyk is, and they're all able to tell. Oh yeah, like I can do the same. I can do the same with most. Most people know who Usyk is, and I always say, if in doubt, if you can go into your office, which is or workplace, where they're not really boxing fans, but they know who the boxer is, they have a name. They're somebody before they never knew who he was. Well, the work he did in the UK, that the fact that he beat Bellew, Joshua in the UK, I mean, that has him up there. Fury has the belly to flatten Usyk, no doubt. Greedy belly. Do not worry, greedy belly. I will not leave you alone. Usyk is going to knock Fury out so cold next time around. The Tipsy King is going to say Happy Easter. Mark my words. Man, if he says Happy New Year, he'll be all right this time. But man, I remember that. Man, I remember that. That was yeah, that was even Ade looked like what the hell? That's no G man. How's London treating you? Pretty well, man. Pretty well. Enjoying it here. I like it here. It's feeling more like home. Although saying that, I'm home for 3 weeks now after today from tomorrow evening. In fact, this time tomorrow I'll be on a plane back to Dublin. But yeah, I like it here. I like Stratford. I'm happy I finally moved. I'm actually kind of glad. Like I had a couple of flats fall through over the summer because one I'd look at, I'd like, then another one would come up, and then other things happened, and I was kind of like, oh my god, is this ever going to end? But in reality, I actually got a really good deal with this flat, and it's actually a lot better and nicer than the other ones, and it's actually less money. So, and the other ones had bills included as well. This doesn't, thank God. So, sometimes the world has a way of just making things that look bad actually have a purpose, and I think that's really kind of a good way of looking at it because that's how it's kind of been. So it's been good. I like it over here. I'm happy, and yeah, man, I'm all good, man. I'm happy. Please tell me how Beterbiev is doing what he's doing at his age. He beating Bivol with a bad knee doesn't make sense. Well, you got to figure that in his pro career, he shifted very little punishment. He lives a completely clean life. I mean, I'm sure he's teetotal. Don't underestimate. And listen, I'm not saying that you should never drink alcohol or anything like that. I think that I'm someone who, look, I drink alcohol. I don't drink it all the time, but I enjoy, certainly since I moved to London, I enjoy a pint of stout or a Moretti now and again. I think that it does have consequences on you. Like I think with me, I drink so little that I'm sure it's not going to help me, but I'm sure it's not doing anything major. But I have friends of mine back home who drink every other week, and they look 10 years plus their age. It's ridiculous, and it has a negative impact on your body, on your health. And Beterbiev has stayed clear of that. He's always in shape. I think there is ways you can keep you can keep that high activity level, you can keep looking good at that age, but it takes an incredible amount of discipline. It really does. What's the next? I mean, they couldn't do that. Could they? I mean, like Usyk would dwarf Beterbiev. It just I wouldn't. I would say you're about right with that. I would make Usyk 55-45 favorite. His arse will be flapping the closer it gets. Zhang doesn't just hit hard. He has a good chin. Exactly. I've spoke about this before, but when I seen Zile Zhang at the Joe Joyce press conference for the rematch, like I was genuinely shocked. One, by how big he is, but two, by how big his head is. I just remember looking at him and thinking, "Oh my god, how are you going to hurt that guy?" I mean, his head literally. I know it doesn't do it just to seeing it on TV. You need to see him in person. One, he's massive. I don't swear there, but he's massive. And the size of this guy's head is so is so goddamn big. I was like, oh my god, you are going to need a baseball bat to knock this guy down. Of his chin being cracked. Well, it was. I've never seen it as bad as it was last time around. I've never seen him as badly hurt. So that's a worry. He definitely looks heavier than me, which he does. Like I've noticed that when I've seen him, even to his face. Yeah, yes, but they've been gone for a while now, mate. I mean, he has the legs in him for I'd say about. I'd say he's got a decent pair of legs in him for maybe about 4 or 5 rounds. 4 or 5 rounds, maybe 6 rounds, depending on the opponent and depending on how kind of tough the fight is. If you're doing what Alexander Usyk did and making him work, I mean, those legs are gone. Those legs are going to go quickly. But as I said, I suspect Fury's legs haven't been right for a long time. In fact, he probably hasn't had the right legs probably since he came back. Klitschko was probably the last time he really truly had his legs underneath him. Really truly. If Fury can't damage or stop Usyk in 6 rounds, well, you see, that's exactly the point. So if he comes in heavy, it does in theory become a 6-round fight because there's no way Fury's going to be able to carry that weight throughout the course of a 12-round bout. He's going to gas badly. So essentially, yeah, I tend to agree with that. It is. It's a 6-round bout. But he says Ocean Blue saying his real name is Sax Coburg and Gofa. Yeah, well, I don't know about that. You know, that's on the assumption that Edward IV was illegitimate. I remember seeing that. And George, Duke of Clarence, who is the middle brother of Edward IV and Richard III. Yeah, I've seen that. I never really paid it much credence. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, I mean, the royals, I mean, you're talking about different branches of royals. I mean, there hasn't been an proper English royal family since the House of Wessex nearly 1,000 years ago. The main issue with the first fight with Fury was leaning back to avoid punches. He's always done it. He can't do it with Usyk. His feet are too fast. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's man. I actually kind of disagree with you on that one. And as well as I was leaving his jab hand out way too long, and Usyk was able to get underneath it. Simon Jordan is nobody outside UK media. Yeah, I did wonder, did anyone in America who's listening, because I do have quite a few American viewers, are you as familiar with Simon Jordan? And it's more just curiosity. Like, is he, like, if he went to America, would it mean anything if he came over or said anything? I don't know. I'm just curious. It's not even English speaking world. It's just the UK. Yeah, I don't think anyone even in Ireland. Like, I know who Simon Jordan is. Obviously, I listen to TalkSport, but in Ireland, I mean, I would say he probably is, but like I've certainly never heard anyone mention him. Certainly never heard anyone mention him. What does it say? Would you think you are the US? Would you think you are the US thinking you are the center of the universe? Usyk round 10. Interesting. Serious question. Where is Chris Andre? I like Chris, get on well, messaged each other a lot, hope he's well. I have so much time for Chris Andre. I haven't seen him since February this year. I have sent him a couple of messages just to say, you know, mate, how are you getting on? I know and even when we met up last February, he was telling me, look, I've got a lot of things on, and you know, it's just life things and stuff like that. So I truthfully hope he's okay. Listen, he knows he has my number. If he ever needs me for anything, he can reach out to me. For Chris, I've all the time in the world. I'll happily drop everything to go and see Chris or wherever he is or whatever he's doing. All the time in the world for him. I hope he comes back, because quite frankly, I miss his content. I think his breakdowns were phenomenal. He has Chris Andre, and the way he's able to articulate himself, the way he's able to just speak on subjects, whatever he's doing, I think he's wasted on. If ever there was a man who belongs in media, talking over punditry or anything, it's Chris Andre. I really do. If it's radio, if it's TV, whatever, Chris needs to be on it because he's a great voice. He's very articulate. He it's just so easy to listen to. And even like I've shown people some other things Chris has talked about, and they've said, although I might not agree with some of the things he says, I can't help but listen. So, in the honest answer, I don't know where he is. I hope he's well. If he needs me for anything, he knows where I am. We need Trump in the US. The left was that. Oh, I don't disagree with you on that one. Yes, but yeah, I- he'll roll back some of the things that Brandon and whatever you want to call her did, but he's not going to do anything. He's not the hero people are making him out to be. And yeah, I don't get involved in any of that. Big up G man. Uh love the people saying he was speaking of the Islamic New Year, which was 6 weeks away. I would say if you said Happy New Year in November, people would look at you and be like, what? So yeah. I know if you said that in mid-November, they'd probably be like, no, no, not gonna happen. Where we are. It's not the world has a way, G man, it's God's way. True that. True that. Probably a poor choice of words I used first time around. A friend of mine was in the Olympic heavyweight. Oh, really? Who was your friend, man? I'd like to. Interesting. That's weird. That's good to know. Actually, it's an interesting one, man. I was going to say you say unlucky. I mean, yeah, who would want to fight Zhang regardless? Big up to Joe Stunner boxing. Great chat. Poorish undercard. I can't disagree with you, mate. Truthfully, I can't disagree with you. It's a poorish undercard. I thought the undercard was okay, as in, like, it wasn't terrible when it was announced. That was because Boacek was very, very good. But yeah, they need to move Atelma versus McKean to the main event. And has anyone actually seen the Atelma versus McKean face off? I don't want to sound like a dick. That's the only word I can. I don't want to sound like a dick. But the zone got this girl to do the face off, and I've seen her on the zone before, and I don't want. I hope this doesn't come across the wrong way, but she was god awful, and I couldn't. I had to switch off. I was like, I can't do it. I can't watch this. I feel bad saying that because I'm sure she's a lovely girl. She seems a cool girl, but I was like, no, I can't. You know, Zhang must have smoked. Nice one. Who would win, a 15-year-old Tyson versus a 15-year-old Atelma? Well, I've never seen a 15-year-old Atelma spar, but given the fact that he went in there with the likes of Lawrence Okoli, and Okoli is saying that he's one of the hardest spars he's had, he's got in there with so many good fighters at that age. I'd have to say, he might have a chance in there. Mike Tyson at 15 was not your typical 15-year-old. That's why I'll be strongly favoring Tyson, because Mike Tyson at 15, I mean, when have you ever seen a 15? Honestly, Mike Tyson at 15, I mean, he could go into any bar and no one would bat an eyelid at 15. Oh, Garcia, definitely. Well, you know what? Apparently, he's signing with Matchroom and he's going to make a comeback next year. I move up to welterweight and let's see how you look. But I'm not exactly hopeful. Josh Taylor, someone was asking about Beterbiev, and I talked about alcohol and Beterbiev being teetotal and stuff like that. Josh Taylor is a good example of someone who. Josh Taylor is not a terrible drinker or anything like that, but he likes a beer. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you're an athlete, it'll take it out of you. And I think it's done that to Josh Taylor because he never really had many tough fights. But he likes booze. He likes a pint, and sometimes he has over a few, and that adds up. Big up G-Man, big up to Thunder Productions. Is no one outside the UK. Yeah, I thought that all right. Oh yeah, man. I thought that all right. I really did. Totally miss Chris Andre. Yeah, man, we all do. We all do. Listen, when the time is right, I'm sure he'll come back. I really, truly hope he does. Because we miss him. We miss Chris Andre. We love his content. And listen, as someone I've met Chris four occasions in person over the last 2 years. And it's always a joy. And I always look forward to meeting him, and it's a joy and it's a laugh, and he knows where I am. And if he needs anything, I'm there. Not much, man. Probably a pair of Converse, bottle of whiskey, and I always buy myself a game or two. I buy myself a game or something. So that's probably it. I'm quite easy to shop for. I'm quite simple when it comes to gifts. 105 in the building. How many likes are we on? How many likes are we on? Let me refresh this real quick and see how many likes we're on. We're on 48 likes. Come on, let's get us up to 60. Smash that old like button. As I always say, hit that like button like it's Keir Starmer's face. There you go. Boom. If I say that, oh God, we could be on like 100,000 likes if people keep saying that, if I say that. But if you could smash that like button, I'd appreciate it. Get the stream seeing, get the channel seeing, all that good stuff. And yeah, because we're doing quite well on here. It's been a good last couple of weeks. We're currently at 21,086 subs. So we're 14 off. We're 14 off getting to 21,100. So there you go. And not a great boxer, but hella guts. You man, takes guts to get in the ring with someone like Azile Zhang. Is having a massive fun. Well, actually, do you know what? Actually, I was only talking to I don't what I call him, a boss maybe from the zone today. We have a fortnightly catch up. And we were talking about Frank Warren with the zone. He went into the zone's main office in London yesterday, actually, just to meet and greet people and say hi. And I was saying, surely when he comes over in April, he's not just going to do like a small show. It's going to be a kickoff show. We're on the zone. It's going to be a massive one, and it's a massive show. And that would Fabio Wadley headline, or at the very least on the undercard of a big act. I know Nick Ball is having a press conference this Friday in Liverpool because he's about to announce his next fight. So I'm wondering, could this be it? His debut on the zone is Nick Ball, Fabio Wadley on the same card as, Denzel Bentley. I think he's not going to do just a typical show for his DAZN debut. It's going to be a big one. It's going to be a big one. So I'm interested to see that one, definitely. Yeah, you see, again, I don't want to sound too harsh on the girl because she looks a cool girl. She seems nice. She's probably got bags of energy, but yeah, just and look, I know I get names wrong on here, and people correct me on that, and it really upsets people sometimes. But some of those names are hard, seriously. But at the end of the day, if I was in her position, I would make sure that I knew those names to a T. One thing doing a video on YouTube and maybe stumbling up on a name, but it's another one to do that. And she couldn't even pronounce Atelma. It's not even a difficult name to pronounce. And I was like, nah, that's poor. The questions, there's a knack to it. Interviewing isn't easy. And, there's times I've interviewed fighters and I've just thought, oh, that was a crap interview. But people have said it was good. Because, sometimes you genuinely want to keep the conversation going and you're just wondering, am I going to set them off with this or am I going to do that? But, maybe I'm being too harsh on the girl. But I couldn't. I wanted to watch it, but I was just like, nah, this isn't doing it. Give me Ade any day. Even Darren Barker probably would have done a good job, but that just was not for me. What happens if Usyk fights Beterbiev? Well, look, it's a big fight. I can't see it happening, but I'd say Usyk would win. I'd definitely be picking him to win. Yeah, his engine is crazy good. Was Tyson sparring Bruno at 14? That's the first I've heard of that, man. And I know quite a lot about Mike Tyson. Big fan of Mike Tyson. That's why it was such a hard fight to watch. It was something that I wasn't exactly happy with the Jake Paul situation. Early, dropped early stoppage, no chance. Man. Not complaining as such, but agreeing with you and Joe Stunner, the undercard is poor. Also, that girl at the face-off was weak. Yeah. I hope I'm not being. I don't want to be too hard. Look, there's some people, broadcasters, who I'll go in on because they're just not nice. I'm sure that girl's a lovely girl, but just, yeah. I have to see more of them, to be honest with you. I haven't seen a great deal of them now, to be honest with you. $2,000. Man, that's a Merry Christmas if that comes true. He also fought. Jesus, I didn't. Dylan White fought him in the amateurs. Oh, your friend. Still, that's pretty good actually. Any fair mind the box fan? Yeah, I will. I'll be picking Usyk. Big up to Joe who just subbed. Big up to Joe every single time, man. Big up to Joe. And that's not Joe Stunner, by the way. Big up to him too. Just in case. You got some competition. We've got two Joes. Really, I'm I'm fairly sure. I'm fairly sure Usyk will call it if he does. I'm fairly sure. Why not Usyk Baturbiev? They will actually, you could have two. Actually, you could have the undisputed light heavyweight champion and the undisputed cruiserweight and heavyweight champion. That's actually it would sell, but I would be making Usyk firm favorite. Yeah, man. Jackson was man. The Hawk was something. That's a once in a generation puncher. I mean, Julian Jackson. It wasn't just the fact like some of the people he fought weren't great, but when you're hitting people and they're all having the same reaction and they are just dropping, like they are just absolutely dropping and unconscious, that guy is not a normal puncher. He's not. He's not. He is a special puncher, and that's exactly what Julian the Hawk Jackson is. He was a serious, serious puncher. It's going to be very hard to find another puncher like him, to be honest with you, in boxing because they don't come around too often quite like that. He was something. Yeah, he was something else, man. He really was. Great fighter. His knockout against oh, I forget now. Actually, how can I forget his name? 155-pounder. Terry Norris. Man, that was his best win too, by the way. But that was something else. That punch, that knockout. When he knocked out, I think Duke McKenzie was on commentary when he knocked out Harold Graham, and you just hear Duke McKenzie, the biggest shot I've ever seen. Big up to Duke McKenzie. Oh man, Whitaker. Yeah, he is gonna. Oh boy, yeah, they're gonna be reassessing some of those deals they've had with him. 8 rounds to 4, Usyk. Yeah, I think it's gonna be like that. No, I didn't think he lost to Ngannou, to be fair. What did I think? I think he needs to retire based upon what I seen over the weekend. Yeah, he didn't even put effort into it. It was so natural. He could knock you out with either hand either as well. Right or left. Didn't matter. He hit you. It was just you were gone. Like it was actually phenomenal. It was genuinely phenomenal. 100% Fury winning 3 rounds. Yeah. It's like the swing states and the swing rounds here. People, I'm gonna call it here, right? And the only reason I'm gonna call it here is because I know Ade is doing his live. He'll literally be getting ready to log on as we speak. And we always say, I don't go, I wouldn't, if Base was live or whoever, I'd be like, no, you have your moment, I have my moment. We won't go live against friends. Link to his live in the chat just there. I encourage you, go over, tell him G-Man sent you as well, just because your boy is good. But go over, I'm going to go over and join Ade now. But I will be also taking a look at that Alexander Usyk pick as well, because I want to, people are saying he looks heavy. All right, let's see. Let's see. But people, for now, I'll leave it there. Let's all head over to the one and only Mr. Ade Oladipo. Let's watch his live. G-Man and Ade, the dream team. We are keeping the people entertained for the next 2.5 hours. How good are we on a Thursday night? We both really need girlfriends, don't we? But people, I hope you all enjoyed it. Until next time, I'll do a live maybe on Sunday, maybe on Monday when I get home to Dublin. But until then, I have plenty of videos planned. And I hope you all have a great evening. All the best. And yeah, peace and love.